Hello everyone, and welcome to the voiceover. So for this, I'm just going to talk throughout the duration of the speed build.
Hello everyone. It has been 2 years and 8 months since that clip, which is the first video that I ever recorded my voice in. And now, this is the last video that I will record my voice in. I just want to say thank you for everything, since this has been a large part of my life for 3 years and has helped in making me who I am today. When I first started out, I thought I might gain some traction, eventually, but never to the scale in which it actually happened. I cannot thank y'all enough. This has been beyond my wildest dreams, and I'm eternally grateful that I've been able to do this. So much has changed since I first started, so I thought I'd take a look back to celebrate it all. Instead of a short goodbye, I wanted to do something more meaningful, and that really went beyond the surface on what went into making content. So, I've done an unscripted deep dive through everything on my end of what made this channel. This is also for myself as much as it is for y'all, since I wanted to remember everything I've done before saying goodbye. I will be back later, so until then, enjoy the video, and thank you again. So, a part of this farewell, what I wanted to do is just take a trip down memory lane of everything on my actual Bloxburg account. If you aren't interested, there will be a timestamp and chapter to where you can skip to the next part. But if you are, let's go. So, looking at my plots, I haven't organized these in a while, so I'm not sure how many I have. This is the highest, 12 different plots. So I'm just going to look through them in order that it has them listed. So starting off on plot number 1 is this project that I had started back in December, and I just started to tweak it a few weeks ago to make it into what this is now. My experiment with this was making actual slanted roofs. I've done this in the past a few times, but this house really took advantage of it. This house was also just pushing me to be more detailed, but again, I kind of fell off, and so this is never going to see the light of day. So I'm probably going to finish this house on my own time. Let me know in the comments if you would like me to bring back my Instagram account so I can post pictures of what I'm doing. So if you still want content from me, that can be out there. So yeah, the whole idea of this house was just to make it more detailed and to push the boundaries of what I can do for realism. And the plot is currently worth $281,454. I am Ooey Cat. Next up on the list is my work plot. I haven't used this in a while because I had built up about $500,000 or $600,000. Now I'm broke. So this plot is worth $114,000. This is not only just a work plot, it is a skills plot. I also have the mood stations on the corners for pizza delivery. Third on the list is an oldie but a goodie. It is the Craftsman family home from January of 2023. This one I made after a bit of a break, and I really took my time on it. And looking back, even though this house is 2.5 years old, it's actually held up pretty well, and the value right now is $772,000. Because I believe I have a car in the garage, yes I do. I'm not gonna spend too much time on this one because there is a full tour and I haven't changed anything since then. It was going for that British Columbia, Washington State, kind of Pacific Northwest craftsman style. This house was my first truly detailed one that I really spent a lot of time with. Even though there are things I would have done differently, such as the lighting, it still holds up pretty well to this day. I'm probably never going to delete this one because it's just such a monumental one and impactful in my catalog. So let's go to the next one. Plot number 4 is another one from 2023, this one from March, and is one of my most popular videos actually, which is the Chick-fil-A restaurant. Again, I haven't touched this one since I made it. Actually, that's a lie. I have. I added the new toilets and sinks that came with all of the restaurant updates when we got the new burger restaurant. I still think it's one of the most unique ones in my lineup, which is why I think it did so well. The computer on here acts as to where you can look at the security cam so you can actually view the drive-thru. I was very innovative in 2023, and I've only regressed since. But yeah, this costs $298,088 with unpaid bills that I'm not going to pay. Next up on the list, number 5, is the Craftsman Mountain Home from March 2024. This is my most recent single house that is finished and fully uploaded, and it is currently acting as my main base of operations whenever I get on here. Everything I use this house for, because it is my favorite house that I've ever built. I loved the challenge that this house posed, because it was just a lot more than I was used to doing, and I fully made each space as if it was its own video, which when you look at it now, it really holds up even though it's a year and a half old. I say that as someone who has not played the game in a while, but just from my personal satisfaction with it, I still think it holds up pretty well. This interior is still my favorite in any house I've done. We'll see some more good ones later. This house is just awesome. So yeah, this is another one that I'm never gonna delete, I don't think, because I just have no reason to. Surprise, surprise, it's another house from 2023. Before recording this video, I had only one house from 2022 still on my plot, which was the traditional family home from that September, the 4th house that I ever uploaded. And it was actually the first plot that I cleared to make room for the first house we saw back in last December. Moving on is the chic modern farmhouse. You can see at this point which houses I'm attached to and which ones I'm not. We're going to be a little out of order here because I built houses as I cleared them on plots. This house is just a simple, timeless beauty, if you ask me. It is a basic farmhouse, but it also has that little bit of a craftsman flair to it, and the inside was... This house walked so the other ones could run. Man, this actually still looks good. I remember just spending a bunch of time in here, especially with the kitchen. And it is a little bit grayscale comparing to the other houses I've done. But this house, my idea with this house was to not use multiple floors and create a 2-story house with a basement that also fit on the small plot. So this house only uses advanced placement in basements. So if you only have 2 game passes, this house still holds up pretty well. And the plot value of this one is $536,449. I'm not going to sleep. Plot number 7 is the Brutalist Modern Home from February of 2023, and the plot value of it is $580,572, and it does have a car on the plot. This house is one of those kind of hidden ones in my catalog that did not get a lot of attention. The video didn't really do well, but I loved making this house. I loved it back then, and let's see if I still like it now, because this house it's quite old, and it is in my old modern style where everything was super dark. I think I would have done the living room a little differently because I just didn't know what to do here. But the kitchen, I actually still like this kitchen. This was the transition house between the Craftsman family home and the chic family farmhouse, or chic modern farmhouse, whichever one that is. To where I was still just starting to push myself with design more, and I was working on this house at the same time as the Chick-fil-A. This bedroom, I would live here. I am a fan of modern architecture, but this, looking back, was a little weird because I just did one big open room, which is cool. The sinks being in the middle like this, it's a very interesting design choice. Don't know if I would have done that now, but yeah, I still like this one. I think I'll keep it because it's just so unique, and I spent a lot of time on it. Y'all get to enjoy my Tom and Jerry background on my computer. But this is what I wanted to show you. This is from a screenshot in 2022. There was this house I made in December 2021 that looked like this. This was back in my old building style before I started doing YouTube. It says December 21 on here, but I affectionately refer to this house as my beset house. I was very attached to this house because before I would delete my house every 2 or 3 weeks and make a new one, and this house I kept for about 7 or 8 months straight. So I had to delete it to use the plot because I only had 3 plots back then, far cry from now. But I still just have very fond memories with this house. It was there with me in some of my most enjoyed moments of the game, and I always remember this one fondly. So using my screenshots I have begun my Beset House remake. It is currently worth $79,000, which is almost half of what the original one was worth. But I am using the exact same floor plan and just building it how I would if I am now. This is actually what I'm currently working on because I was just feeling very nostalgic looking through all this stuff as I was essentially closing down, and I'm just starting on this. I'm probably, if I bring the Instagram account back, this is what I will start with. I've been doing it with my current style, which is a more ornate and detailed style. So you can tell with the windows, I did a custom fireplace, stairs of course. The only room I've done in here so far is the kitchen, and it's still not done. I'm not really happy with this yet. So yeah, this house has a special spot in my heart, and I'm bringing it back so I always have this house on my account. Even though it's not the same, it's the remake. It is the same in spirit. Plot number 9 is free plot 2. It's worth no dollars. Plot number 10 might look a little familiar now. So I'm planning, at the time of recording this, I'm planning on releasing this as an unfinished bonus build right before this video. But this is the Chic Family Craftsman home. It is the last project that I was actively working on before quitting, which is why it is a bonus video. I have no plans on finishing this for YouTube, and I am posting it to you as it is. So it is currently worth $586,373 and is more so the sibling of the Craftsman Mountain home, because I started this in February of 2024 and have spent quite a lot of time on it. So if you want to go watch it, there will be a video I'll probably just add a card, or it's in the description somewhere, or on my channel. You can find the video of this house. This open floor plan, this is kind of like the final form of my interior design. Very, very much more on the upscale end. You can see how I was channeling the Craftsman mountain home. The same flavor, different texture, if that makes sense. Using a different color palette, but with that same kind of brown, because I really fell in love with that. But lots of outdoor area, and the upstairs is also finished in this house. So there's the master bedroom, which is the last part of a house I worked on before quitting YouTube. Bedroom in here, and this one has its own bathroom. There is a finished hall bath that I was working on. Another kid room, and then the final bedroom in here. So this house, the entire downstairs is finished. There's a garage, you move through, there's a mud room, and then there's a little bitty half bath in here with a laundry room. And then if you go down to the basement, it's completely empty. I haven't touched it. So the entire basement and the master bedroom closet and bathroom are unfinished, but other than that, the entire rest of the house is done. So I think it could act as a good shell, and I'm keeping this. I might actually finish this on my own time. I really don't know. Yeah, this serves its place. It's really just a nice conclusion. Plot number 11 is free plot number 3. It is worth no dollars. No, free plot number 1 does not exist. And here we are at my 12th and final plot. This is the Parkton Ridge subdivision that is worth $1,375,289. It is the end. It's a very ceremoniously, like I completely didn't plan this, of it being the last plot that I own, but it's quite a ceremonious and fitting end to this, because it's the culmination of everything I've done. It both honors my old, more simplified design and also brings it up to the present with a bit more detailed design, and really just showcases my work as a planner as well, with the street layout. And this, even though this project took a while, I think I'll always keep it, because it's quite an important one in my catalog, being the last actual full complete project. Even though most of the houses are still empty, it's just the end. And you know, looking back at this, I'm quite happy with this. I spent a lot of time on it, but I think it worked out pretty well. So this is my video stuff folder, which contains everything aside from actual raw video footage that I have used in doing YouTube. But yeah, in this I just have a bunch of different stuff. So like for my profile picture back in September of 2022, I just had transparent pictures of my avatar that I would use. We have a bunch of different banners. I was having issues with this, but there's like my old logo. I made it a little bigger so you could see it. This banner, which was more of like a showcase, this one, I quite like that one. Back to that kind of style. And season 2 banner. This was going into 2023. 2023, we stuck with that, still kind of just showing off the pictures of the houses on top. This one, I don't actually know if I stuck with that, but I was rebranding to just like just like a frame. I was going to just use an individual house as my banner, I don't really know if that stuck. And then this one, July, I stuck with this style with just the gray gradient, the simple font. It was clean, it was nice, and this one came after the one with like the gray concrete background, which I did like, even though those are only a month apart. And then 2024, this is the current banner, March. It is completely off of the color scheme of the Craftsman Mountain home from that year. It was important enough to me that I felt like it was a perfect showcase of how my building had grown and where I had gotten to. So I really just used it to frame the whole branding of my channel. This one's called Build Battle. So this picture is from a build battle that you can view on my website. It was between me back here in the corner. I believe back here was Trimfim, Ival, and Alex over here. We did it on a call in like late June of 2023, and my computer stopped recording, so it didn't become a video, but I do have the picture of it and it's on my website. So this folder is of my Chick-fil-A decals. I have my credit decal, which Roblox actually blocked because they didn't like it. And I have some other art in here that I was gonna upload and never did. And then of course, all of the custom decals that I made for Parkton Ridge. Celebration of, this is when I had 123. I took a screenshot of that. This was in June of 2023, so I had started to gain a little bit more traction. Again, the gray concrete background, how iconic. 36 videos by then, quite impressive. In February of 2023, I had 55,000 views. So this was just in total. So I was at 742 and had 55,000 views. So I was quite proud of that. And this was my top 10. You can pause it if you want to see how many views each video got. In here are all of my different intros and end cards. For 2022, we have the original one and then the one that I changed with the black background. 2023 had a bunch. Concrete background, we had the gradient background, and then 2024 there was like a longer one, and then there was a shorter one, and then of course my end card with the same branding as before. This is July 2023 when I finally reached level 50 in pizza delivery. I had 828,000, geez. Now we're getting into where there's a lot going on. So this is just, I have photos with backgrounds of all of my different houses. So just my screenshots that I would put into Canva and actually add a background behind them. These are like the finished ones. And then down here we just have the raw screenshots. So each house from each year. I had a lot of the mansion. Wait, goodbye mansion. Okay, so these are like, I have the original ones and then I have the higher quality ones I took with the graphics up. Same thing for 2023 you can see where I started to take a lot more screenshots because before I would just take the ones I needed for thumbnails and none else. So a lot of them are just gone, and then have a bit more. We're actually going to talk about this house later. I'm going to cover this, the Chic Family Craftsman, because it will have released by now. And then just like the starter house renovation, the Peaceful Living, and then some of my canceled houses. If you want to look at these, they're on my website, linked in the description. Here in the vein of the avatar and banners, we have all of my different profile pics. So why is my credits decal in here? Where's the first one? That's my original watermark. So this July 27th, there had to be one before then. Even though the date is weird on here. So this is my very first profile picture actually. It was in that same font as before with the grayscale. But for some reason, my entire branding was lowercase. Like my avatar looked weird back then. It looked like a 12-year-old made it because it was made by a 12-year-old. So there was this, and we changed it into the black circle that August. Okay, and then we changed to this with the black kind of pixels. I don't know what this background was. This is when I changed my avatar and kind of made that with my branding. Then there were some changes I was doing with it that didn't really stick. I don't think my transparent one, some old watermarks, and I think I had this one in September, yeah. And then I just went back to the original. 2023, we got some credits decals. I'm pretty sure this was profile picture for a while, or it might have been this one. I don't know. And then of course the new one, the best one. And finally, I have all of my thumbnails. If you want to pause and look through these, I have for everything in, if you notice by now, everything is organized by year because I planned on doing this for a while. So I pretty much organized this in 2022 and haven't touched it since, which is good because I just made it good to begin with. This is day 2 now. I forgot to do this yesterday because it was really late when I was recording. I have just a blank document that I keep all of the details about all of my houses on, and just any project in general. And of course, like everything else, it's categorized by year. So we have just project name, how many parts it was, the date the first one released, cost, time, plot data, game passes, house features. And this was particularly useful when I was redoing my website, because before I would write all of that information down on a sticky note and then it would just get lost in all of my desk clutter when I was making a video. So it was easier for me to just store all this on my computer. Anytime I was going to make a video and I would have all the details for it, they're all here, and if I need to compare one or the other, I can look through. And it just also serves as a nice little list, so I can keep track of everything. I would keep projects that I was currently working on, but for like the suburban neighborhood, having all of the information on there, and for all of the different floor plans. So it made everything easier in the long run. So I keep this separate from the rest of my video stuff, which this is on my actual external hard drive. I still have every single, 2022 I only have the part 1s because I did like the cinematic collection for some reason. 2023 I have all of the videos, I think. Maybe a couple of them are just part 1. So yeah, I have most of my videos still in here, and of course it's categorized by year. And then I have the ones for 2024 and 5. They're just kind of in here because I would make a folder after the year was done. Videos itself are in there, but this is the cool part, which is the OG files folder. This is where my raw footage goes in. So like I have an old video from May 2022 of this one. This is actually a fly-through of a neighborhood that I built. So if you're thinking Parkton Ridge is simple, in May 2022, this was my neighborhood. So that's why I'm always talking about how it really showcases how I've grown as a builder, because I've done neighborhoods in the past before, with this being the most recent one before then. So I still have that in there. The Chic Family Craftsman, I have all 17 video clips. The Craftsman Mountain Home, all of those are in here. I have my recordings for the farewell video that I'm doing, the No Gig Pass home, and then the neighborhood, which when I mean this took a while. I have a lot of stuff for this one. And then I had a tiny house. This was supposed to be a commentary video that I was filming. So I had been recording for an hour on this tiny house commentary, and this is where it was when I finished. I didn't finish, I just quit. But this is where it looked at the end of that. And this was June 8th of last year, and it just never came to fruition. I'm not going to spend too much time here because this video is going to be a lot longer than I want it to be. I figured I could look through on YouTube Studio and just look through different stuff in here. So on the content itself, different tabs, you can see all of my different community posts. The very first one was from February 2023. Oh, it's Sugar. This is my cat, Sugar. That was me editing a video on my old editing software, Wondershare Filmora. That software screwed me over, but I miss it so much because in editing this video, iMovie's horrible. I hate it. This is when I hit 1,000 subscribers. We hit that in June 10th, 2023. Then there's my 2,000 in August, so like 2 months, month later. And yeah. Playlist, I have for all of my playlists, have them categorized. So if you just want all of the videos from a certain project or from a certain year, they're all in here. I have not live streamed. I did one short and I made that and then said never again. And for my videos itself, I just have a nice list of them where I can see all of them. I have 56 videos in total. So by the time this one's posted, I'll be at 58. So just lifetime statistics. This is what I like coming to, because I can see the live subscriber count, like which videos are getting viewed, and I can just have a list of each video by how popular it is. Oh, the suburban neighborhood's number 2. That is quite impressive. But I haven't looked in this in a while. So like the Craftsman Mountain home has been climbing up there. The traditional suburban home, this one was the king of my channel for like a year straight. Pretty much until the Bright Family Farmhouse, it blew up to begin with, and I guess it hasn't really gotten traction since. So in total, you have 420,039 views, 17,000 watch hours, and 4,300 subscribers. So for the content itself, 6.2 million impressions is quite wild. And that 5% click-through rate, which I don't know if that's good or not. Had 15% in 2022. Because 10 people saw the video and 1.5 of them decided to click on it. Perfect. So that's that. I'm feeling super nostalgic right now, and while at times it sucked, I think I really enjoyed doing this, and I'm super grateful that I've had the opportunity. Thank y'all so much for everything, from everyone who watched and supported, to Alex, Levi, Trimfim, and Kevin for being my Bloxburg gang throughout this era, especially summer 2023. That was epic and really just the most fun I've had while doing this, so thank you. To Lola, Caitlin, Venus, and everyone that made the Discord server our fun little building community while it lasted. I'd also like to thank all of my friends that supported and encouraged me through this, and to my sister, whom without I would not have had the guts to start this in the first place. So yeah, thank you again. I did not expect that I would, not only that I would be doing this for so long, but also that I would be ending it so soon. But I really think I'm leaving this with no regrets, so I just want to say thank you again, and goodbye. I did it right. Take 7.